Welcome back. This week is a little different. This spring, Caleb and I went to the California coast and shot the car camping video.
This video is going to be about car camping,
which you may have seen. During that week of rain,
where are we at?
And kind of ridiculous spring weather, we had about 16 hours of good weather.
That's better.
And during that time, we got to shoot with my friends Collette and Michael on the California coast. This is more of kind of an experiential BTS video, so it's not going to be like chock full of tips and tricks, but it's aimed to provide a little bit of insight into how I shoot with people. So I'll probably jump on voiceover and give a little bit more context as the video goes along, but just wanted to set that up and hope you enjoy.
I just handed them a camera. They're going to take some photos of each other, something they're used to, and I've basically like given them a job, which allows me to just walk around, kind of be a fly on the wall. And if I see something that I really like, I might stop and have them recreate that. But as you can see, they're like occupied, so this lets everyone be a little bit more natural.
Like I said before, it's nice to give your talent a job or task when applicable. It's one of the easiest transitions for most folks to kind of start owning their role. Collette and Michael are both really experienced at modeling and being on camera, so they didn't really need this sort of help, but I still think it's a good way to start a shoot and just to give everyone something to focus on.
There's still no room at the table. I keep like walking over to it and like... Did I shoot some? Yeah, actually like me doing something.
This series of shots were taken on the same roll of Portrait 400. While I like to plan shoots and have a structure to reference, it's really important to hold that loosely enough so that when something great is happening in front of you, you can take some time and chase it and just work with the person you're shooting with to explore some of those shots you might not have planned. And when you're done, you still have your shot list waiting for you to reference. This video is brought to you by Bernzomatic. Watching Michael cook is so much fun, and since I don't usually know what he's gonna do next, I'll just ask him for permission before we get started to request a redo. So that allows me to photograph the things I might otherwise miss, and it also reminds him that I don't know what he's gonna do next. So when we come to something that can't be redone, he lets me know. I think I have a lot of room to get better at this for sure, but this is all just a lesson in learning to communicate. Not only are you working with the person, you're learning how to let someone know where you're at, and you can learn to let someone know how to help you when you're working together.
You hold a little bit more like coming out from here. Yeah, tell you, Michael, it's beautiful. Very cold.
All right, now, yeah, it's getting cold. Now, like, kind of ready to eat.
Okay.
I would slice this, like, put it on here, put those on there, and, like, repeat together, kind of.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Or I could dish it out to on plates.
Beautiful. I would say just the presentation as you would do it. Continue. Don't mind me.
No, no.
It's like a camera touching your nose. Don't mind me.
Are you hungry? It's gonna be cold so fast.
Okay.
So the light is just about gone, but it was still good and the waves were super impressive to me as someone who's not from a coast. So I decided to give Collette and Michael a break and just go try shooting some of the waves. I wanted the fastest shutter speed I could get to freeze the action of the water, but had to compromise and temper that with my other want of not having a super noisy photo. I'm pretty sure I ended up at around ISO 3200 f5 and a 40th of a second. As with anything, experimentation is key.
What's that?
Really not a sunset like this every night in California?
So Collette and Michael are some of my favorite people to hang out with and to shoot with, and I want to keep it that way. Although they're both pros and are used to long days, we'd basically already shot everything we needed for the night, and even though I could have kept on shooting a lot longer, I just wanted to let them have the opportunity to relax and enjoy the awesome place we were in. My goal is to always make the experience of shooting with me something that is fun and relaxing for people, and sometimes the best thing you can do is just to know when to call it.
Okay. All right, we're rolling now. All right, it's cold, windy, all that, right? So as a photographer or anyone, like, you need to be mindful of the people around you, right? So there's no need to wake them up, have them stand around freezing in the cold while, one, the light doesn't change, and two, I figure out my game plan. So something I like to do is, if it's nice out, wake up even more early, or if it's crummy, just get up now and basically just walk around and frame up some different shots, get some ideas where I might want to put them, have some activities I might want them to do. That way, when we do wake them up, we can just get right to shooting, and we're not having them stand around. It's just a way to, like, make people more comfortable and make them more likely to want to shoot with you again and to not hate you. So, also, I've got a zoom lens on here, but a lot of the times when I'm doing this, I'll just set it at like 35 or 50 and just keep one field of view. Kind of forces you to walk around a little bit more, and sometimes you can find better compositions than if you're just sitting here like. We rolling? All right. Michael, Collette, Michael. We're just gonna walk down the beach, take some photos. I'm gonna shoot you guys with film. So it's gonna be slow and clunky, just like me. Could you maybe walk over to that log and just go look at the sights? Go do whatever. All right, break for 15.
As per usual, I'm shooting a combination of film and digital. This is the Canon R5 with the 24-70 and the Leica M7 with the 50mm Summicron and Portra 400.
So hard to do with cold fingers. Portra 800 in here, and then this is the Fuji GA645i. It's like if a VCR were made into a camera. It is super clunky and it is phenomenally good. And I always rate mine at 320, but that's just me. You can do whatever you want.
I'm generally shooting film on aperture priority so I can just focus on the moment, and I shoot my digital cameras on manual, metering for a scene and then shooting for a bit until I need to adjust. I think it's important to note that I'm using each tool in a way that allows me to think about it less and my subject more. I'm not changing settings between every shot. I'm just getting close enough and then putting all of my attention on what's happening in front of me.
Distant ocean, I miss you too much. Your salty waters I never did touch. Living so far from the shoreline has made my heart long for the sea.
We'll try to do a little through the viewfinder thing, but it sounds like a VCR and it's also kind of like shooting through a VCR, so the hit rate is not always that great. Can Michael take a picture of Collette?
Return to the place of my birth.
Look right here for a second, Collette. Okay, last one. Right there, hold that. What? we're out of film. Shall we?
Instead of trying to make something happen here in the cold, I figured if we just drove down the coast, maybe in the very least we'd run into some better weather. And even if we don't, that takes Collette and Michael a little bit closer to home.
This is like kind of the frame.
Oh, wow.
So I think we'll have to like go back and forth a little bit to try to like put the sun on your face. And not no cars.
Okay, so this shot came together super quickly for a couple of different reasons. I had already stopped here and shot a couple of times in the past week, and even though none of those times turned into a usable photo, stopping there did give me the information that I would need to be ready when I did have all of the right ingredients.
Do you have the reflector? Yeah. Is it totally buried?
No.
I knew where I'd park, about what focal length I'd want, and where both I and my subject would be standing roughly.
Ultimate Power Team. Put Michael 21.
Add in Michael with a reflector and the fact that Collette is always spot on, and we're done in about 5 minutes. I think we got a frame on both the R5 and the M7.
Don't mind, and we're done. I might take a photo of you with that.
Honestly, I could have shot at this location a lot more, but it's on a road, cars were coming, and we didn't want to risk it.
Let's call it good. Fish and chips?
Oh yeah.
Fish and chips?
And apps.
Dude, are you into apps as well?
All right, thanks for watching. Our aim with the channel is to generally provide a little bit more actionable value or instruction, I guess, on some of these shoots. We didn't really have a lot of time, and so we still wanted to make something, and hopefully you got some value or some inspo or something out of this shoot. I think when you're shooting with friends or with anyone, it's really a good idea just to kind of go with the flow, to, you know, shoot a lot when the light is best, and also to let your subjects have breaks, let them just enjoy the day too. And I think my biggest takeaway from that whole sequence was, you know, I had driven past that road a couple of times and it was just pouring down rain each time. There was something about that spot on the road that I was drawn to. And so even though I knew I wanted a person in the photo, those first couple times when I didn't have a person, I still stopped and kind of took the frames. And I think from doing that, it kind of allowed me enough time and distance to kind of think about what I would do in that situation if I did have all the right ingredients. So you kind of saw how quickly, you know, I'll cut right here. So you kind of saw that when we left the beach, I kind of knew right where to go and kind of knew the whole setup. You know, I knew that I wanted Collette framed with the trees around her head, that we needed some light, and that we would have her on the edge of that dappled sunlight. So, you know, I think had I not taken those photos beforehand, we still would have come out with a good photo, but I think we definitely sped up the process and ended up with some stronger images because of that kind of scouting work. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. See you next time.
And really quick, I just wanted to give a big thank you to Collette and Michael. They're both super amazing people who could have been doing any number of much more important things. And I'm really thankful for the fact that they were down to drive up and spend a part of the weekend with us. So thank you both a ton.
Because next time when you come back, you'll be stronger at what you do. Let's go with the first take.